Most people think a decent rowing machine has to take up half the living room or sound, like a jet engine taking off in the garage. But this thing from YOSUDA actually flips that script. It is surprisingly compact, and honestly, the first thing that hits you is how quiet it is. Because it uses magnetic resistance rather than air or water, you can get a solid workout in while someone else is watching TV in the next room without driving them crazy. That is a massive win for anyone living in an apartment or just trying to squeeze in a session before the house wakes up. Now here is the thing about the build. It feels solid. You are looking at a steel frame that handles up to 350 pounds, which is impressive for something that doesn't feel like a tank. It is not going to wobble or creak when you really start pushing the pace. The seat is comfortable enough for a long session, though if you are planning on doing hour-long marathons, you might eventually want a little extra padding. It is a minor gripe, but worth mentioning if you are used to those high-end club rowers. The resistance levels are where this gets interesting. With 16 different settings, it covers a pretty wide range. You can keep it light for a warm-up, or crank it up to get that heavy, muscle-burning resistance that actually feels like you are pulling against something substantial. It is not quite the same as a professional water rower, but for the price, the tension is surprisingly consistent. The flywheel has enough weight to keep the stroke feeling smooth, so you don't get that jerky, uneven sensation you sometimes find on cheaper gear. Setting it up is actually painless. It comes in just a few main pieces, and you can realistically have it ready to go in under half an hour. That is a huge relief, because nobody wants to spend their entire Saturday afternoon wrestling with a pile of bolts and a confusing manual. The Bluetooth connectivity is a nice touch, too. It syncs up with fitness apps, which makes tracking your progress way more engaging than just staring at the wall. The LCD screen is clear and gives you all the basics like time, distance, and stroke rate without any unnecessary clutter. If there is one thing to keep in mind, it is the height limit. If you're pushing 6'2" or taller, you might find the rail length a little snug at full extension. It is perfectly fine for most people, but definitely something to consider if you have long legs. But look, for the footprint it takes up and the price point, it is a really well-thought-out piece of equipment. It does exactly what it promises without any fluff. If you want a reliable way to get your heart rate up at home without turning your space into a professional gym, this is a solid, no-nonsense choice that just works.
Check out the video description for updated price. And thank you for watching this video.